The biggest fear is, as Black Americans are delineating, and America as a country is doing the same thing. They're coming after us. Donald Trump got elected. Immigrants are scared. So now Black Americans are doing their own thing. At the time, we're hoping that they would be standing up for us. Just that the FBA stuff scares Africans sometimes because we feel like we're being left behind. Maybe delineation is not that good for us Africans. That's how people see it. Like,
right.
you know,
It shouldn't be like that, and that's
it's a threat.
true.
It's a threat to us.
It shouldn't be, because the people delineate from us.
But it wasn't like this in the past, like 10, 20 years ago. We're all just black, but now everybody's delineating, even Africans themselves.
Yeah, they let us know, because we would be told by many Africans, Somalians, and Ethiopians. They would run around telling us, we ain't black, we're Somalian. We ain't black, we're Ethiopian. We ain't black, we're Nigerian. They would tell us that. And we're like, okay, is that what we're doing? And then when, they start coming up with little names like Abids, Jarirs, Akadas, little stuff like that, we let it slide for a long time. And then after a while, we say, you know what? A lot of these folks are getting into political positions where they're undermining us. So, we're going to have to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, we're going to have to start getting a head count on who's who's down. We're not going to sit here and have a big kumbaya party until we vet people. We're just getting some proper straightening. That's it.
But the biggest fear is, as Black Americans are delineating, and America as a country is doing the same thing. They're coming after us. Donald Trump got elected. Immigrants are scared. So now Black Americans are doing their own thing. At the time, we're hoping that they would be standing up for us.
Delineation is only a problem when we do it. It's only problematic. It's only threatening. It's only xenophobic when we do it. I noticed that. I'm sure y'all noticed it too. Because how can you be offended or taken aback by delineation of Black America when we was never together with nobody in the first place? Who was we ever in cahoots with? Who was we ever together with? Regardless of what people are saying right now. Oh, we was always together before. We was working with y'all together before. We were supporting y'all. We were just supporting. When motherfucker when? When I can't recollect. I have not Googled anything. I have not read about anything. I have not seen anything that proves that we were together before. So what the delineation thing, and my thing is, why is the FBA, the Foundational Black American title, so threatening and so offensive and so being so ostracized, even within a lot of Black Americans? I've seen a lot of Black Americans talk about FBA like FBA is, I'm not an FBA, I'm an African American. I'm not an FBA, I'm an African American. And it's like, it's just a change of title. It's just a change in name. It's not a political cult, or it's not a religious cult or a political ideology. It's just a different name. Give the African American title to people who are actually from Africa, who actually have family and friends in Africa. That title could be very useful for them, not for us. So I feel like some of that has to do with like low self-esteem. Like, if you're offended by the name Foundational Black American and you are a Black American, you have low self-esteem or something. Something is wrong with you, because you demonize everything that has to do with anything that your own people are doing.
Credit goes to the original creators of the clips used in this video. Let's get to it.
I'm an African American. I'm very proud of my ancestry. I'm proud of the things that we've accomplished. I'm proud of who we are. But we're African people that were born in America. And the most intelligent thing we can do strategically and socially and politically is to connect with the continent. Otherwise, if we isolate ourselves in the Americas, we will get genocided.
The last one is world. What does that mean? It means something really simple that is a pet peeve of mine that I'm going to put on the table and then we're going to shut up. All this BS about African versus US black versus Caribbean black versus Canadian black versus Antarctica black. I don't have facts to prove that. We everywhere. Arctic black. If you allow that narrative to exist within you, you're participating in dismantling who we're supposed to be in this world, y'all. Rich and I are no more, actually no less dedicated to the black community in the US than we are to the black community in Africa and in the Caribbean and in Europe. And the fact that our descent is African and your descent might be different does not mean that we can't represent all. And we're not fighting for all. And we keep letting this narrative exist in the world. I told y'all this is me. If you were calling me, this is how it would come out, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm triggered on that in a second. Anybody can believe what they want to believe. What I need the world part of this to do is to proactively dismantle the part of that conversation that is about if you ain't in a black eye certify, you don't deserve.
See, because we're speaking out now and gatekeeping our culture, and we hold these other groups accountable, all heck is breaking loose across the diaspora, right? I saw a video the other day where you had some people in the UK going back and forth with Nigerians. I saw some Nigerians in a heated, I'm talking about smackdown debate with South Africans. It was like South Africans versus everybody. And I keep telling y'all, we move the needle. When we start talking, when we start moving, everybody start moving. The sister from the UK, she wasn't dissing black Americans. She was taking a cue from us and was going after the Nigerians because she was saying that the Nigerians was coming to the UK using Caribbean culture to erase their culture by putting their culture over. Basically just saying, well, it's all African anyway. They was amalgamating themselves right into Jamaican and Trinidadian culture while not even mentioning them. Right? And this is the stuff that's been happening here in America, right? So now because we're talking about it, everybody's talking about it now. Everybody's starting to delineate and hold things accountable because a lot of these Africans for a long time was trying to make us generic Africans. Now this ain't African hate. This is the same way you guys want to gatekeep Yoruba. You guys want to gatekeep Akan and Ashanti and all that stuff. Well, we want to gatekeep our accomplishments. Our accomplishment is not Africans' accomplishments. You guys wasn't here. Right? Our accomplishments, yeah, you can mention Shirley Chisholm. You can mention Marcus Garvey. You can mention all those people. They came here and became a part of something that was already established, something that already existed, right? So now you have Asians now starting to speak out. All these groups are starting to speak out, right, in appreciation for what black Americans have been putting down because we've been blowing the trumpet now.
Something is changing. And whether people want to admit it or not, Black Americans' delineation is becoming a much bigger conversation. For years, the word black was treated like one giant umbrella. But now, some Black Americans are saying, no, we need to be specific about who we are. And that is where this conversation is uncomfortable. Because when Black Americans begin drawing that line, some people in broader immigrant and diaspora communities may start wondering what that means for them.
First of all, delineation is simply us being clear about who we are, what our lineage is, and what struggles and victories belong specifically to our bloodline. It's not about hate. It's not about division. It's about clarity. Clarity protects us because when we don't delineate, a few things happen. Other groups start taking credit for our fight. They start talking about how they built the movements that our ancestors died for. Also, people rewrite our story while we are still living in it. They flatten all blackness to one category and then may erase the specifics about what we went through here. Resources meant for us, receiving diluted policies and scholarships, and even business grants that get redirected to anyone who can check black on a form. Our culture gets copied, exported, but never protected. People pick up our aesthetics and commodify it. We get gaslit about our own experience. Folks come into our spaces telling us how we should feel and who we are from their perspective. But delineation stops all of that. We're saying that this is our lineage. This is our culture. This is our history. And the crazy thing is, everybody else already delineates. They don't mix themselves up. We're the only ones being told to be vogue. But vogue harms us. Blurry harms us. Gladdening calms us. So it's really not about exclusion. It's about protection. It's about accuracy. It's about ensuring that generations to come will inherit clarity, not confusion. But if we don't define ourselves, no one else will. And they will always define us in a way that benefits them. So delineation is not optional anymore. It's necessary, it's healthy, and it's the way forward. Believe that.
In this conversation, delineation means creating a clearer distinction around Black Americans' identity, history, culture, and community interest. It means Black Americans are not simply a racial category. They are people with a specific American historical experience, a history shaped by slavery, Reconstruction, segregation, the civil rights movement, Black political organizing, and generations of building communities in the United States. And supporters of delineation argue that those experiences should not automatically be treated as interchangeable with every other Black experience. That distinction matters because race and ethnicity are not always the same thing. Someone can be Black and Haitian, someone can be Black and Nigerian, someone can be Black and Jamaican, and someone can be Black American whose family has been in the United States for generations. Those identities can coexist, but they don't necessarily represent the same history. And that is the heart of delineation argument. It is not simply about separating people because of skin color. It's about definition, representation, political interest, cultural ownership, and historical recognition. And this becomes especially important when conversations involve government policy, demographic data, citizenship, economic opportunity, or political representation. America is going through another major immigration policy shift, and Haitians have recently faced enormous uncertainty after the federal government moved to end TPS for hundreds of thousands of Haitians. So with deportation and loss of work authorization becoming very real concern for many people affected. So when people are already worried about immigration enforcement, legal status, employment, and deportation, identity politics can suddenly become much more consequential. And this is where some people may look at Black Americans' delineation differently. Because if Black Americans become more deliberate about saying we are Black Americans rather than simply treating every Black person in America as one political or cultural group, that could change how different communities understand their relationship with one another. That does not mean every immigrant is against delineation. It does not mean that every Black American supports it. This is a debate, but some critics worry that stronger boundaries could mean fewer assumptions about shared political interests, and supporters see exactly the opposite. They believe clearer identity could actually create stronger representation politically. And the argument is simple. If you don't delineate your community, somebody else may define it for you. And that is why delineation has become such a powerful word. Now, think about the bigger picture here. America has always used categories to understand population. Those categories influence everything from demographic research to public policy and political representation. So supporters of Black Americans' delineation are asking a fundamental question. Who exactly is being represented when the government, media, corporations, or politicians talk about Black Americans? Because if the category includes people dramatically different immigration histories, cultural backgrounds, and family histories, some people believe important differences can disappear inside the larger label. And that is where the cultural identity enters the conversation. Black Americans' culture did not appear overnight. It was built through generations of American history, from spiritual and blues to jazz, gospels, soul, hip-hop, civil rights, activism, literature, political movements, and countless other cultural contributions. Supporters of delineation believe that history, more specifically, can strengthen cultural preservation and political leverage. And here is the part that makes this conversation especially complicated. Many black immigrants have also built successful lives in America. Pew Research estimates that black immigrants now make up to roughly 1 in 10 black people in the United States. So this isn't simply about one group versus another. It's a conversation that is overlapping identities. It's about immigration, citizenship, culture, political representation, and increasingly, it's about who gets to define what black Americans mean. And as immigration enforcement becomes more visible, those questions may become even harder to ignore. Because when communities feel uncertain about their future, they naturally start asking, who are we? What do we represent? Where do we belong? And perhaps, most importantly, who is speaking for us? And that is why the delineation conversation is not going away. The debate is only getting started. And the question is whether clear boundaries will create greater division or whether they will finally give Black Americans a stronger voice over their own identity, history, culture, and political future. What do you guys think? Share your thoughts in the comment section and kindly remember to keep it respectful. If you want breakdowns like this, hit the subscribe button and join our family. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.